Hi guys, this is Just with your How Do They Feel About You air sign edition. So this is for Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, and this is all about how they feel about you. We're going to look at each sign and see how they feel and what is the special message that they would like to give and share to you. This may not be for everyone, all right? And I'm not here to place blame on you or the other person. I'm simply reading the cards. So please respect the messenger. Now, on to the reading. Let's start with Aries. So, Aries, for those of you who has an Aries in your life, an Aries pretty much feels down and out. They are stressed out. What have you done? And for some of you, this is a very specific message to Aries and Libras. Now, obviously, this is for Geminis and Aquarius as well. But you'll see what I mean by that when we get further into the video. That being said, I do feel like this Aries is a little stressed out over some type of commitment that seems to have gone sour. The inability to commit or stay committed or be trustworthy or to grow the relationship in a way that someone wanted to definitely seems to be a bit of a problem, and possibly not keeping their word because their special message says, I'm sorry, I can't follow through with my promises. So they've been struggling. They're not in a great place. This could be you as well, since it has, Nine of Swords speaks to air energy, and they may be trying to make amends, maybe trying to do right now. If they owe you money, maybe trying to pay back what they owe, do right now. But it may be a little bit too late for them. And if it is the case, then boy, are they stressing out. And I do feel like some Aries out there really regret what they did. And it's almost like one of those hard lessons that you have to learn in order to get it right the next time. The door may be closed for them to get it right, at least with you guys, but at least they can move forward and get it right with someone else. Now, I have to say that for some of you, you may experience from now until we get into Taurus season. At some point, your Aries can come back around to you, and this time they're going to want to make a commitment. So it's something about whatever period of stagnation or break the two of you may be on. It looks like they're learning their lesson, and that if they do circle back around to you, which will be a better time when we're out of Mercury retrograde, they'll want to make more of a commitment towards you. So that was Aries. Now let's look at Taurus. Okay, so Tauruses are struggling a little bit with a breakup or disconnect between the two of you. For some of you, this Taurus may now want to move on. Either they're moving on from a connection between the two of you, which may not be panning out in a positive way at this time, and they don't feel like they can do it anymore, right? So they may be moving on. They may be accepting, could be new love. They're not looking back at anything old or from the past. They might have some triggering feelings. Also, if there is family or children involved in this dynamic, the children may be taking a hit because of the issues between you and a Taurus. So that could be problematic as well. But I feel like Tauruses, for the most part, if there is a break, if there is a disconnect or a breakdown between the two of you, Tauruses are looking forward. They maybe already have accepted something new in a new direction, or just decided to move forward, move on. Can't necessarily take whatever the problems have come up between the two of you, and just probably, if they are reminiscing about the past, it isn't anything nice. I also feel that if the two of you may have tried to work things out in the past or recently, things may not have gotten off on a better end, and they may be cutting it short and saying, no, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm going my separate ways. I can't take this anymore. So some of you are dealing with a Taurus that's kind of struggling with to try to see the light at the end of the tunnel, see that this is going to be positive. And I do, if there's children, I'm kind of feeling resentment, or I'm feeling disdain, or even someone being upset because there's no cooperation when it comes to the children. And I feel like emotions can run high at this time as well. I feel also that there may be, because of neglect, or again, not being able to cooperate with children, there may be emotions that flare high. So I would be conscious with that. When someone says that they can't take it anymore, it can run anything from leaving to being desponding and holding back to going off, So hopefully it's not the latter, but it looks like Taurus is maybe cutting their losses with some or air signs and moving on and moving forward. Now let's look at Geminis. Well, your Gemini may feel like there's a lot of opportunity to grow this relationship and that it's very balanced, it's very mature. We do see that some of you could relate to this if you are a Libra. The Libra card is here too, but that also speaks to Taurus, but this is for Geminis. But I do feel that they may see that you're worth putting the time, energy, and effort toward. They may have other obligations as well. You're not the only person. Someone's mother may be very much the focus or part of your union somehow. And it's almost like a package deal. So someone mother comes along with the relationship, and it looks like for some of you, Geminis are willing to give to both, right? And Gemini definitely is always able to multitask and kind of spread themselves a little bit thinner than other signs. So it looks like they're willing to do their part. Now, for others of you, there could be a child support or some type of support issue at hand, which seems to be very positive as well. And I feel for some of you, you may not necessarily be in a relationship with a Gemini because they're trying to, as they say, find themselves. So there could be an in and an out and an in and out. Someone could be living with their mother. So there may be some codependency there. It could be, again, needing to share parental responsibilities with one another, which could be handled quite nicely if everyone is cooperating, while this Gemini goes off and finds themselves. Now, typically for me, when that card shows up, it is very telling that someone isn't going to stay gone for good. They're just going for now, right? So again, they may be keeping or trying to keep a door cracked between the two of you. So they always have the option at some point to come back into your life, especially if there's children involved. There may be alimony or something, business arrangements or something that the two of you still share, that I feel like, at least for now, they're very much cooperating and doing their fair share to keep that door open. So now let's look at Cancers. Well, Cancers are not waiting anymore, air signs. They're coming back. They want you to accept their apology. They're extending their love to you. For some of you, there may not have been much intimate moments together. The two of you, there could have been power plays. They may, heated, passionate moments could have gotten out of control, could have spiraled out of control. Someone may not have had a hard time holding their tongue, holding back. Something could have gotten completely out of control. And now there is, sorries to be had, and not being able to fully deal with whatever inner issues that they may be suffering from or challenged by between the two of you. But they're coming back. They're coming back to apologize. Now, clearly, this is someone who doesn't do well with commitment, and commitment can mean anything, right? Saying that they're going to do something and they don't. A literal commitment of a relationship, monogamy, being trustworthy, being honest. These things may be a bit of a challenge for your Cancer at this point, but they want you to forgive them. They want you to understand that this is part of, I felt, possibly their growth process, right? And where perhaps they had more strength and discipline to hold back. Maybe they had a lot of anger and resentment. Because for me, strength card upright is when you're controlling all of those deep emotions that bubble under the surface, but reverse, it speaks to it can possibly being out of control. And with that, they may in the past have, been completely out of control with their actions. And because of it, that could have spawned some inconsistencies with their behavior. Right? And now they want you to forgive them. You're not having it. I'll tell you that damn much. If you're dealing with a Cancer woman, she's not been the same. You may deal with someone who has, some type of imbalance, right? Something that they suffer from that could be or may not have been diagnosed properly or at all. But this can be a situation where someone is kind of, like I said, they fluctuate up and down and up and down. And again, guys, this is for entertainment purposes. But I feel like there may have been a period to which you were stressed at one point, and now you've gotten your sensibility about the situation dealing with a Cancer. And since now you're more clear about where you're moving forward and you're not giving them much credence, now they're coming back to try to kind of get back into your heart. This person, it is not going to be, it's not going to be consistent with this either. They may still struggle with being consistent, especially if you're not going to respond the way that they expect you to, or the way that they want you to. They want you to be very responsive to this offer, this apology, this love that they're extending. And if you don't, then they're liable to revert back to whatever old ways that may have gotten the situation to where it is now. So apologies are to be had. They want you to understand that they're a mere human and that they have a lot of flaws or some specific flaw, and to love them all the same. Now, that's a message for Cancer. Now, let's look at your. So, Leos, they want back in. They want back in. Yep. They want back in. They may have created a problem. Someone could have created a problem here. The love may not have been as strong. I do see unrequited love. Could also have been some type of third party interference here. Seems to be very prominent here. That could have interfered with what the two of you had going on. And because of it, someone could have taken a step back, or there could have been a breakdown in this connection at some point. But someone kind of wants to come back in again. That maybe some Leo held themselves back and they don't want to do that anymore. They want to kind of make up for lost time. There may, again, for some of you, it could be unrequited love that you've experienced with this Leo. So for some of you, this Leo may have a hard time giving themselves 100%, right? So there could be a lot of having held back quite a bit, held back the truth, held back themselves, held back their emotions. And they don't want to be left out in the cold. They want, to get back to a place, because for some of you, you may have said, okay, fine, I accept it, and now I'm going to move on. And now you may have found some form of happiness or contentment in your life. And now they're taking notice and they're taking notes and perhaps pulling back. They may have thought that that was going to kind of throw you off. And at some point, some of you may have been thrown off, but now it looks like you're back balanced, especially if you are the female here. And I get that there's a wanting to come back and work things out, and obviously being apologetic that that they've held themselves back from you. Again, it's kind of the same energy, same kind of thing that I was picking up with Cancer, and I shuffled the deck, and there's the sense of wanting to come back and not waiting anymore. And if it's unrequited, be very conscious and careful, because if it's unrequited, in the past someone showed you that they really either was just not ready for a deep commitment, they couldn't offer commitment perhaps because they're already committed, or they have held back quite a bit because they're scared to enter into something more deep than what they can give you. Then you may want to take it very slow, very steady, because you may be dealing with someone who's gonna do it again. This also, I feel like someone's turning someone into a friendship. Like it could have been something of a deep love, and now it's like we're becoming more friends than we are lovers. Or I thought we were going to be committed, and it's like, no, we're more friends than we are committed. Be very careful, especially, again, I'm picking up the Sun card here, so be careful with a Leo, specifically a male Leo here. And it's not to beat up on any male Leos out there. I'm only reading the cards, guys, but be very careful if you're dealing with a male Leo, because they may not be able to give you the love and attention and care that you want. Okay, some of you, if this is a Leo woman, you may be interested in more of a friendship than they are, but I get friend. I get a heavy love is not here now or anymore. And what I can give you is a good time or a friendship. I can definitely give you a good time. I can definitely give you a friendship or something not too heavy. They're not looking for heavy. So if you can, enjoy an easiness, a lightness, then that'd be great. Also, I feel like someone wants some form of, they want to lessen the control and the expectation. They're not looking for too much. Don't put too much expectation and control on them. Let them breathe. Let them be. Now, this may be, like I said, you or them, but the message here is that they don't want to hold back. And again, I think, if you have a Leo in your life and you feel like part of these messages are resonating, having that talk, have that talk, ask them, what do you want from this? I think that they would be quite honest, be careful and be ready for whatever they're going to tell you, whatever they've been probably trying to avoid telling you, it may come out, they may tell you now, it may get found out, right? So there's some things coming out that you may not be completely prepared to hear or to see or deal with, right? But it's all for the better good. Just remember that. Sorry for the long-winded message of Leo. Now let's get into Virgo. Well, Virgos are coming back. For some of you, this is a twofold message here. For some of you, Virgos are definitely coming back. They're over the heartbreak and pain. They've healed somewhat. Anytime it still appears, it's still definitely remnants of it there, but it's not the way it used to be. So, they're getting over it, and they don't want the distance to continue, so they possibly are coming back to you at this time. And it's taken a lot for them to come back, because you're special to them. Even though they may be acting as if you're not, maybe they feel at this time it's safe to come back because they feel that you've gotten over the heartbreak, the pain, the separation. Maybe you've answered a text or a phone message, or you've greeted them in a way that is positive, and it gives them, again, the go ahead to make an extra step toward you. And they do have feelings for you. Obviously, they do care for you. They may, out of protection of themselves, they don't speak it, they don't say it, they don't share much, but there is definitely still a connection there. Now, I have to say that's the one storyline there, but the other could certainly be that, after there has been heartbreak and pain, possibly some type of cheating or dishonesty that led to a temporary breakup or a disconnect, this Virgo could find themselves going back to someone from their past. So it doesn't all have to be you guys. It could be someone else that they're going back to, right? And I do feel like they could be going back into place and putting themselves not just back to a specific person, but it could be like putting themselves back out in the dating pool. So they have a lot of options now, a lot of people to choose from. And there, with that, does lead to confusion and things not necessarily being very clear for them. But I feel that for some of them, that's what they could be doing, going back to a place, trying to go after someone or people. It could be a particular person that's not necessarily opening themselves up to them. Or if they're going back to a place like putting themselves back out there again, they may become unmotivated and unattracted to people as well. Does that make sense? So you know how you get out there and it's like, damn, there's nothing out there. There's no one out here. I don't see anyone that I would even waste my time talking to, trying to get to. There's no one worth trying to get to know. It's that type of thing. So again, this is Mercury in retrograde. Everyone's going through their internal struggles and challenges and deep, transitions. So, this is part of the transition that is Virgo on the flip side of the message. But for some of you, they're coming back to you wanting to kind of start all over again and work things out. It's going to be a little confusion. We are deep in Pisces energy now. So even if they do come back, it's going to be quite confusing. There's going to be things that, once again, that is going to come out, right? They may be willing to communicate and open up and tell you more than what they've told you before. Everything may be on the table at this point now. So there's no need to, hide. And now they can kind of come back and communicate. So there is a knowing that comes with a reconciliation with a Virgo. But also there's still a sense of where do we go long term? Where's this all going to go down the line? And you won't know that until you get out of Mercury retrograde and you start to move forward with you and your Virgo. But yeah, they definitely miss you, and they do still care whether they've said it or not. So now let's look at Libras. Ah, and so there it is, Libras. That's why now you see why I said that some Libras are having a direct connection with Aries, because Libras are stressed out too, just like that Aries reading at the top of the video. Some Aries were definitely stressed out, but it could very well have been the Libra that stressed out over connection with an Aries. But you Libras, you guys are stressed out. And you're not happy. Libras are unhappy with a disconnect or some type of separation or a breakup in a relationship, because they may feel like the connection is a very special one. You know, it's kind of like freaking frack. It's like, you know, the person that gets you and you feel the most comfortable and have a sense of comfort with them. So whoever this is, Libras, for those of you who have a connection with a Libra, and it may be troubled, problematic at this time, whether it be, oh, it's temporary, or, you know, that's it, we're done. They're not having a good time with this, and they're not happy that the two of you are in this place and in this space, because what the two of you shared was real. What the two of you shared was quite special as far as they are concerned. And so, if you can, if it makes sense to, if you're even interested in possibly giving them, reaching out to them, they may have tried to reach out to some of you, to no avail. You know, yeah, I do see over and over again, they've tried to reach out. This may all come to a head in Leo season. Okay, and this is for the messages of Cancer, Aquarius, and Libra. You'll see what I mean. But things may come back around full circle in Leo season. But yes, Libras have definitely tried to make amends and fix things, but it's been very problematic. And I feel like someone hasn't been very open or interested in connecting the dots again and trying to work on something. And it affects a Libra. I mean, Libras don't, you know, they're not the most emotional sign, but when they do like you and when they love you and when you're special to them, they're pretty loyal to that. They hold that, you know, near and dear to their heart. And so you are someone that they find to be near and dear. They wish things were different, obviously, for many reasons, but unfortunately it doesn't seem that, at least right now as I'm doing this video, that Libras and whoever this Gemini or other Libra and Aquarius could be, that the two of you are going to kind of close the gap, at least not now. But just know that your Libra is not taking it too well, and they're bummed about the situation and not happy that they don't have you in their life at this time. So now let's look at Scorpio. Well, not Sagittarius. I was about to say Sagittarius, but Scorpio. Scorpios, they feel like they've been done wrong. They feel like they've been done wrong. They feel like they've been mistreated in some kind of way by one of you air signs out there, and there's no disputing it. They are very clear about that. And they also feel as though there's a lot of criticism. For some reason, I almost feel like I'm doing a Libra reading, because a lot of it is kind of coming up for Libra. The energy for Libra is very strong. So if it's not all, you know, obviously it's not all aimed to Libra, because this is for the air signs. But maybe a lot of this will come out and be dealt with in Libra season. That may be it as well. But for some of you, let me know if you have any contractual issues that's going awry with a Scorpio. If there's some type of dealings that doesn't seem to be working out properly, if someone feels like they've been misjudged or a decision was made against a Scorpio, that's a Scorpio feels was unfair to some extent, but things became very clear to them once it all came out. Right? Once it all came out, Scorpio's like, oh, now I understand that they feel like maybe you were never for them. Maybe they feel like you always judged them harshly. You never accepted them. Maybe, you know, behind their backs, they felt that you thought less of them. And now, you know, to some extent, they truly see who you are. And, yeah, there may have been a harshness, some type of truth. Someone could have called the Scorpio's card and told them and called them out, you know, about, you know, behaviors that are perhaps immature, or I I get a difference in age. Like age is so different from another person. And so someone could be talking bad about a Scorpio. Scorpio could have been talking bad about an air sign. But I feel like this is more what's coming from the Scorpio. So they just feel that they're not enough. Either they don't feel like they've ever been enough for you. And the reason why I think of Libra is because obviously we spoke about that in Libra's general of someone not being enough. And so they don't feel like they're enough. They also don't feel like they've been given enough time and attention, nurturing or care or consideration from these air signs. And I'm also getting like whatever was spoken, it was very harsh. It may have been to the air sign. No, I was just being honest. I was just being truthful. I was just stating the facts. But to the Scorpio, it just stung. It really stung. And so I feel for some of you dealing with a Scorpio, they are definitely, and by the way, you know, this Scorpio may be dealing with confidence issues as well, and not in the best place for themselves. And I'm not saying that they're projecting, because maybe it would just be at this time, whatever you're saying to them, it may be making things more polarizing. Does that make sense? So, you know, if you're already doubting yourself and if someone says something to make you doubt even more, that may make it worse. But yeah, there's an unfair treatment here, something that's balanced is an unevenness, but I'm not getting this as this typical, well, it's not balanced, someone is not even. No, this is like someone feels like they were done wrong. And they were talked about, and, you know, they're being, you know, spoken about or treated, or decisions are made against them, something in a negative sense, more than just it being unbalanced. And because of that, now they have some sense of clarity. They don't feel like they're being crazy or they're exaggerating, or, you know, it's a farce. They really feel like something isn't right. And it all boils down to them feeling as though you don't value them. You don't feel like they're good enough. And again, it could be, and I got that with other people, you think about them one way, but in front of their face, it's like something completely different. So that's kind of what I'm getting from this Scorpio's energy. So now let's look at Sagittarius. You know, for the Sagittarius, I got straight away when I saw these cards as a combination that you have someone who 100% feels as though it's kind of like that thing where you and this person may have had toxic dealings together, right? At one point, it's like, you know, you may have done things that, you know, it's just not healthy for you or them, right? And you went with it. You were like each other's drug, and it could be on any level, right? But together you caused chaos, or together you were, you know, forced to be reckoned with, or together, you know, when it's that type of thing, when it's like, when it's good, it's good. And when it's good, it's great. And when it's bad, it's horrible. And someone's pulled out and said, you know, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. Now, there is this type of magnetism and this very potent karmic connection, right? That makes the other person feel like what we have, bar none, there is no one else that we don't have this with anyone else. What we have is special, but is it healthy? You know what I mean? Is it healthy? And I've been getting this again for, I believe it was Sagittarius. I've been doing so many readings now I forget, but I feel that I've already spoke about this unhealthy attachment that people are getting over. Right? They're saying, no, I don't want this anymore. I want something better. I want something better for me. And maybe for some of you, Sagittarius are realizing that this connection has thrown them completely off. They're not themselves. They're not balanced. They don't have their same equilibrium. They don't find peace. They're not able to bring things together. And this is so karmic and so potent that it's that type of thing is when you get a connection with this person, everything goes out of whack. Your money is not the same. This is not the same. Everything starts to break down and fall apart. So there is this, yes, what we have is special, but is it good for me? I think that, you know, for the most part, if there is some type of toxic connection, Sagittarius is saying time out. I can't do this. it's throwing me off. I don't feel like we can come back together because we're just not healthy for one another. It isn't anything I don't believe that counseling probably cannot fix, time cannot fix. With one another, it would take a lot. Sagittarius feels burdened because it's a lot of fighting. I mean, where words are very nasty and someone feels like they're not giving the right emotional care, right? That it's like, it could be that there's like outside people and someone prefers always putting someone else first over the other person. And I feel like it's a lot of hurt words that were said. It's like a fight could have went on between the two of you and it got nasty. And a sorry is not going to do the trick because whoever cursed the other person out or whatever nasty words were exchanged, it's going to be damn sure hard for somebody to say, well, you didn't really mean that. not the way you cursed them out. So there is needing to break away from this union, even though it is quite special. I believe to both of you, it's a very special connection, but that doesn't make it healthy. And I think a lot of people are wanting more of a healthy, happier, prosperous life overall. And if that means editing certain people out of it, so be it. So again, no judgment here. Should be none taken. Now let's go on to Capricorn. Well, Capricorns is almost like mimicking the same messaging to some extent as Taurus is. And it goes back to not being able to get on the same page. They feel, again, it could be loss of a connection, not being able to see eye to eye with one another, or someone's not in love the way that they used to. The emotions have soured. It may be at a point where it goes from like or love to disdain, or just completely, dislike of someone. And I feel that it's very hard to consider working this out, even though that probably is what they want to do. And if you have children, if there's any unresolved issues that you need to come together to deal with, don't expect your Capricorn to be around. If they have been MIA, it's because they really can't take whatever might transpire, whatever you might say, whatever you might do, verbal or nonverbal. It's going to be very difficult for them to just say, hey, let me move forward and let me talk to you. Let me pick up the phone. Let me this and that, because whatever is going on here, whether it be loss of emotion or not being able to be on the same page, or whatever memories that are left behind are those that are negative, and that's what someone is focusing on. It makes it very difficult to want to reconcile it, even try to see that this can work out, at least in the moment, because they may feel like you are very good with verbal and nonverbal cues that may get the best of them, and we can already see that they may be struggling on an emotional level. At least it's not the very most positive time for them right now, Capricorn. So they are keeping their distance from you, I would say, Capricorns, at this time. Yeah, they really don't see necessarily things getting better. And they're not going to be communicating for the better part of, obviously, we're at the end of Aquarius season. But I feel like they're kind of remaining mute and distant because they're still trying to heal. This Capricorn, as strong as I know Capricorns to be, they're needing to heal. They're needing to repair. Now, again, some of you may say, well, it's me. This is how they feel. This is how they feel. Okay. So now that's Capricorn. Now let's look at Aquarius. Well, you have the signs who are very much holding back because, their thoughts on the matter is very negative. They're trying to recuperate from whatever emotional disconnect that is happening here. Some of them is very extreme. They're stressed out. Others of them, they're just holding back. Then you have those who are saying, no, I want my person. I want my Gemini, my Aquarius, my Libra. And Aquarius are actually mimicking those sentiments. They want you back, and they're not holding back anymore. They are just like, I forget at this point what sign, but they literally have the same cards as another sign that they want to come back. I think it was Cancer. And they want to come back and they want to make amends and they want to make it right. Aquarius is do, especially if there has been lack of physical intimacy. They're going to try to do whatever it takes to get back in your good, to get back in your good graces. And maybe they're picking up little cues from you, nonverbals that says, okay, it's now, maybe they'll accept my apology now, maybe tonight is the night. Obviously, you're heavy on their mind. And everything probably, points back to you and what they've shared and what has happened and, all of the good um, experiences and feelings that you share, which is, part of the reason why they're going to, or at least want to reach out. And how many of them are going to be successful? Well, I guess if they still have some type of direct connection to you, they may be reaching out. And I would love to know from all of you in the comment section below, if you'd like to share how many of this is resonating, that someone has actually reached out to you, because it looks like Aquarius is, at least at the very least, they want to. Have they yet or not? You guys could tell me that, but there's a wanting and a willingness to apologize, try to make it right. They may have been holding back for quite some time, can't do that anymore. They may feel like, you know what, you come with a cost. You come at a cost. Like, I can't just have my cake and eat it too with you. I'm going to have to kind of, make some adjustments and make some changes. And maybe now they're at that place where they want to make some adjustments and changes for you. Again, it could very well be, Mercury retrograde is bringing a lot of people back and making people want to make amends. And, as I mentioned in the beginning of this reading for Aquarius, just take it slow. If you have anybody coming back in, take it slow, because we're very much in Mercury retrograde, so anything could change up again from a person. But for now, they want to make amends. They want to make it right. All signs lead to air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. For them, all signs lead to the roads of your heart, and they kind of want you at this point. So you guys let me know if they have a way back into your heart or not. Now let's go to Pisces. As soon as I put these cards down, I said Pisces feels like the air signs bring too much drama. Too much drama. Too much drama. It's too many people involved. It's too much damn drama. It's just too much. They can't take it. And they've made a huge mistake. It's that type of thing, like, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, I may have brought outside people. They may have been the one to bring outside people into the relationship. Maybe they've allowed other people to get in their head and create more friction and problems in the relationship. Maybe, they could never ease off of you, and they created a lot of the tension and problems and frustrations. And one little small disagreement turns into a big fight, or it's a lot of bickering and never being able to kind of get peace and settlement in your relationship, which could have kept the air signs at a place of stagnation, of being frustrated, angry, and disconnected from the Pisces for quite some time. And in some way, they feel like there's drama because of you, but they also admit that they're bringing to the table, and maybe that, they created and started the whole problem to begin with. They are apologetic. Yes, they want you to forgive them. They may now know that, hey, I'm trying to get back with the air signs and trying to get peace, and I'll be damned if I'm able to do it, because they never let me forget ... They won't, forgive me. They won't, stop being angry with me. They won't stop, bringing up ... Now they have other people in their life, and it's very competitive. And now, damn it, am I ever going to be able to win their heart, because they don't even like me at this point? So it's just, yeah, Pisces is feeling, I just felt when I put the cards down, it's a hard road. They're having a hard time with the air sign. That's for damn sure. They're having a hard time with the air sign, and they would like it to be peaceful. Okay. And I'm sorry saying that I made a huge mistake, and I apologize. It's just not going to goddamn cut it. Some people say, well, why are you laughing? That's not funny. Of course it's not funny, but at the end of the day, it's just, to me, it's funny because when people know that they've done a uh-oh, and it's like, yeah, uh-oh, it's too late. This is one of those things, right? And I feel like Yeah, it's gonna be a long time, if ever, that you fully can like put your guard down and just trust them again. And even if you do, it would be for a moment, because it's something about this connection that creates triggers. So something they say, they do, you go somewhere, someone says something, it could trigger a whole spiral situation between you and your air. I mean, you and this Pisces. So I do feel that, after a while, they will give up. They won't stay in forever and just expect, you to, especially if the response is not positive. They won't continue to try to beg your forgiveness or try to work things out. They will take a step back. But at least right now, they are acknowledging. They've identified that they're very much the problem, that they've made a huge mistake, whether it be bringing outside people in or whatever your issue may have been. And I feel like they want you, or they want to have enough time to repair this and get themselves back on track. Or they may want you to take some time so that you can get a different perspective of what has happened and to find something in your heart to forgive them. But I feel like they need time, whether it be them needing time or they want you to take the time. To see if things can work out down the line. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope that this has been helpful. Like I said, with the earth readings I just did, I love doing these. I love checking in with all the signs. It's kind of fun. It's it's in and out. It's quick information, and it's, like I said, it's very fun to do. So let me know in the comment section below how you love all of this. If you like it, what would you change? What would you add? I'm up for all critique. It's not a problem. And yeah, leave your messages down in the comment section below and let me know if any of this resonates. Also, if you would like something personal with me, in the link below description box, you can find the link to my website. You can set something up for yourself. And yeah, guys, if you are new to this channel, welcome and subscribe, because I'll be back very soon with another one. Take care, everyone.